Put what on?
Put on your outfit.
Absolutely not. Hi, my name's Ian and I'll be making a mushroom and Worcestershire cream sauce over noodles. It's a German dish and it's fairly easy to make for under $10. First thing you gotta do is wash your hands. Second thing you gotta do is mise en place. You know, make sure everything's ready to go before you start cooking. For the noodles, you're gonna want to put a little bit of sea salt in it, and I always put a little bit of olive oil. And what that'll do is that'll keep the noodles from sticking together and sticking to the bottom. And it'll add just a little bit of flavor. We're using pre-minced garlic today because I didn't feel like showing you how to mince a garlic bulb. It'll take a little bit too much time. All you'll need is mushrooms, heavy whipping cream, Worcestershire sauce, and garlic, and a noodle of your choice. You're gonna not want to run mushrooms underwater, contrary to what your parents will tell you to run them underwater. You shouldn't, because it'll make them mushy. To clean them, you just take one of these, paper towel, and you just wipe them off. To cut these, you're just going to want to cut them in small strips. It'll look like that. You're going to want to try and make them relatively the same size so they saute at the same rate. It's about as much as you'll need, about 5 mushrooms. To saute would to be cooking at a high temperature with a little bit of fat. And our fat today will actually be garlic. And, well, garlic's not the fat, but we're going to saute it at the same time so the mushrooms catch the flavor of the garlic. Our fat today will actually be butter. You can use olive oil, but I prefer butter with a vegetable like this just so it's a little better tasting. Take the butter, cut off for about 5 mushrooms, you're going to want about that much. And you start your pan. And you wait for the butter to melt. After the butter melts, you see it sizzling a little bit, you throw in a little bit of garlic, and then you put in the mushrooms. One big thing though, with sauteing, you're always going to want to be moving it because it's at such high heat. If you stop especially with the vegetables that aren't really like strainy, they're not thick vegetables, they're not like peas or something like that, pea pods, they're not snow peas, they're not green beans, they're mushrooms, they're very soft. They'll burn very quickly. Same with the garlic. You never want to burn garlic. That is the worst taste and smell ever. Get the butter all the way around the pan. Now that our butter's melted, see it's sizzling a little, but you don't want to burn it. We're going to throw in a little bit of garlic. About a tablespoon. And at the same, well, after that, garlic is an aroma, and you'll smell when it's ready. Right now, it's about good. You're throwing all the mushrooms. And you'll know when the mushrooms are done by when they look a little brown. You're also going to want to add a little Worcestershire sauce, just to get them a nice color and to add moisture. And at the same time, you're going to be au-sec, which means to dry. Now that the heat's moving and the mushrooms are actually sauteing, you want to keep them moving. about done. Actually, sometimes when the pan's hot enough, you actually are going to want to put them on a plate, just so you can let the pan cool down a little bit. Because the next thing you're going to put in is heavy whipping cream, and you do not want that to burn. What it'll do is the sauce will break, so you'll be left with half of a little bit of really thick heavy whipping cream, and then half it's going to look like really thin olive oil, and it's going to, you never want a sauce to break. So that's why you always turn it down to about medium heat. Me, I'm going to go, our stove goes up to 6. I'm only going to 2. So as that cools down, just put these back in. And even if you hear that, it's okay, because when you pour the heavy whipping cream in, it's going to cool down the pan. And you're going to want to keep moving the heavy whipping cream around. After you let this cook until it thickens up a little bit, we'll put Worcestershire sauce. And plenty of it. And there really is no answer to how much you should put in. You just taste it and you tell yourself if that's enough, or you can always add more. There you have it. Noodles with cream sauce, and then all it is mushrooms and Worcestershire sauce.